citizenship applicants, members of the court, officers and trustees of the Thomas Jefferson Memorial Foundation, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Standing before you today, here in this hallowed place, I feel compelled to quote Thomas Jefferson himself, who said, "Speeches measured by the hour die by the hour." But I'm also reminded of my wife's frequent observation that no one ever comes away from listening to a speech saying, "Boy, that was great, but I wish it had been longer." So in acknowledgement of the wisdom of Mr. Jefferson, as well as the insightfulness of Mrs. Goizueta, my message to you will be brief and to the point. I must start by recognizing the vision and determination of those of you who are to be naturalized today as citizens of this great country. For me, looking into your eyes this morning is like looking into a mirror that takes me back 26 years, back to a hot, muggy day in 1969 at the Federal Building in Atlanta, Georgia. And in that mirror of your eyes, I see my own eyes. Eyes focused on a solitary flag as I pledged allegiance to my new country. Eyes wide with an immeasurable sense of anticipation, excitement, and opportunity. Eyes brightened by a deep sense of gratitude. And yes, oh yes, eyes determined to remain dry despite the sobering knowledge of the tragic fate being forced on the Cuban people by a communist regime. It is your vision of a better life that have brought you to this place today. And it is your decisiveness as the masters of your own destiny that has made this moment a reality. I congratulate you on this accomplishment. I salute you for your resolve, and frankly, I'm indebted to you for providing me with this vivid reminder of one of the most significant days in my own history. Together, you and I and all of us here share a truly magical gift, the magical gift of freedom. And with it, its corollary that we call opportunity. When my family and I came to this country, we had to leave everything behind. Back in Havana, our family photographs hung on the walls. Our wedding gifts sat on the shelves. Every material property we owned overnight had become government property. But amid that turmoil, two treasured possessions remained mine because they simply could not be taken away by the newly arrived Cuban rulers. First, even though I had to leave behind my diploma from Yale University, and even though I had to leave behind the specially engraved dictionary I earned as valedictorian of my high school graduating class, I carried with me very safely in my head the meaning of that diploma and of that dictionary. I still had my education. And secondly, even though the Havana Coca-Cola bottling plant where I had worked was to be confiscated, I still had a job. And it wasn't just any other job. It was a job with the Coca-Cola company. From that point on, as you might guess, the story improved significantly. And that story, my story, boils down to a single inspiring reality. The reality that a young immigrant could come to this country, be given the chance to work hard and apply his skills, and ultimately earn the opportunity to lead not just a large corporation, but an institution that actually symbolizes the very essence of America and American ideals. Not a bad story. But what has it taught me? Let me tell you, it has taught me a great deal. But first and foremost, it has taught me that opportunity always comes accompanied by obligations. And what are the obligations which come with opportunity, you may ask? Each of us, of course, must answer that question on our own. But in my life, I have found that every opportunity I have ever encountered has implied three fundamental obligations. The first obligation implied in opportunity is that you must seize it. You must reach out to the opportunity, take it in your hands, and mold it into work that brings value to our society. To do otherwise is not just a waste, it is really a crime against the human spirit. Squandering what the rest of the world covets, it is not only foolish, it is immoral. The second obligation, which comes naturally with opportunity, is that you must live the opportunity. You must carry it on your back all day long. You must sense the opportunity in your nostrils with every breath, and you must see it in your dreams when you are asleep. Because even though opportunity, much like freedom itself, is born only out of ideals, it is nurtured only by action. Without action, opportunity and freedom soon shrivel and fade to a tragic, slow death. Finally, the third obligation, which inherently comes with opportunity, is that you must defend it. Thomas Jefferson said, "The tree of liberty must be refreshed from time to time with the blood of patriots and tyrants." And yes, from time to time, that is unfortunately true, painfully true. But the tree of liberty must also be irrigated every single day with the sweat off the brows of enterprising men and women working hard to further prove the inherent superiority of a democratic society, working hard to demonstrate the lasting stability of a democratic capitalistic system, working hard to preserve the sanctity of private property, working hard to continue to show the world that people can indeed be trusted with governing themselves. And as the man who built this house said, men and women working hard to put the interest of our nation ahead of their own personal interest. So, to my mind, those are the three obligations we owe opportunity. They are simple, they are undeniable, they are demanding, and most of all, they are yours and mine to embrace or to reject. So I say to you, opportunity, ours to seize, ours to live, and ours to defend, or otherwise, ultimately, ours to lose. Like many of you here today, I know what it's like to lose what had taken many years to build. And just like you, I can tell you, I refuse to suffer through that kind of loss ever again. And so I challenge you and every other citizen across our nation, whether native-born or naturalized, to embrace your individual obligations, to embrace your obligations as if the fate of the United States depended on it. Yes, to embrace your individual obligations as if the fate of this country depended on it. And you know why? You know why? Because in reality, it does. I thank you, and I thank the trustees of the Thomas Jefferson Memorial Foundation for giving me this opportunity today, and I wish you, new Americans, the fullest blessings that come with true freedom and opportunity and Godspeed. Thank you.